Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Havas Super-Stream at CES 2026. We are live from the Havas main stage booth at the Storyteller stage here at the Aria in Las Vegas. This whole space was built to bring people, ideas, and perspectives together, and it's great to have you with us for day 2. CES is all about what's next, but after a full day on the ground, it's already clear how quickly innovation is turning into real impact, especially when we're surrounded by clients and partners who will shape what comes next. The Super-Stream gives you a front row view into the ideas and technologies defining the future, from healthcare to consumer experience, all alongside bold perspectives from Havas, our clients, and our partners. Through it all, what we're focused on is what this change means for brands and how Havas helps turn innovation into growth through convergence of creativity, media, and technology. And for those joining us virtually, the Super-Stream brings the energy and insight of CES straight to you. So thanks for being here. Let's get started.
And we're back in the North Hall for more robots. One of the big themes, one of the big changes this CES is fully autonomous robotic platforms powered by AI. And I'm joined here at their booth by Jordan McCready, Global Vice President of Development here for Primech AI.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about the product?
Absolutely. The Hytron is a fully autonomous, AI-powered restroom cleaning robot designed for high-traffic commercial environments. Navigates on its own from the docking station, scrubs and polishes toilets, urinals, sinks, and mirrors, all with an NVIDIA Jetson Orin system on module for edge computing. And
what does that mean, system on module for edge computing?
so there's no cloud, no remote operation. The robot is able to fully operate on its own, create the processes, move between the different tasks, everything, all on its own at the edge level. No cloud.
No cloud computing.
No VR control, nothing like that.
No cloud computing cost associated with it.
That's right. No cloud, no Wi-Fi. You don't have to worry about us connecting to your network. It's got a built-in SIM card for the status reports. So it's got a dashboard that it sends you the status reports, alerts, anything like that. Other than that, fully autonomous, like I said, running computing at the edge level.
You can literally lift these, place them somewhere, and off it goes.
They're quite heavy, but they can drive right over.
I think we're going to actually go in and take a look at the product.
Sounds great. Let's take a look. Here we get to see the Hytron starting its cleaning process. First, it lifts the lid. Then it goes back, it uses the computer vision to check, and we'll change the tool and begin the next cleaning process. At the same time, you can see our silver unit over here is also working, doing the urinal scrubbing with the scrubbing brush, back interchanging the tools, moving to the polishing brush. So right here is where our computer vision scans and ensures the environment and everything is prepared for cleaning. Now it moves back on to the polishing brush.
I mean, the remarkable thing here is, as you said in your introduction, this is on the air. This is edge computing. So
Correct.
This isn't being this isn't being remotely controlled.
No remote control, no VR.
There's nothing happening in the cloud.
No, sir.
This is literally all in this box here.
Absolutely, yes. And the NVIDIA Jetson Orin really helps with that. Really love the performance.
This is the platform you were using for.
Absolutely, yes, yes.
And you're deploying these, I believe these are actually deployed now, right?
Correct. We have units deployed in Singapore as well as Hong Kong. We were at a trade show in September in Berlin for the European market, November in Tokyo for the Japanese market.
Yeah.
And now here we are at CES 2006.
So we're going to be seeing these in the US and Europe soon.
Absolutely.
And what kind of commercial applications are you seeing?
We're working with clients everywhere from hospitals, shopping malls, offices, casinos, hospitality, yes sir. Anywhere really with a high traffic environment, you think there might be 5, 10, 12 urinals in a row, they're gonna be the perfect fit for that.
Wow, well I've got to say, seeing them in action, you can just say that this really is an incredible advancement. And the fixtures themselves actually do look clean enough to eat out. I mean, as usual at CES, I haven't managed to get lunch yet, so
We've got third-party reports that have shown 99.9% disinfection rate, so we're really pleased with the satisfaction of the cleanliness and everything like that.
That's significantly better than a human, right?
Yes, it's correct, right? And the good thing about the robot, it doesn't take days off, doesn't get sick, doesn't get tired. It's just here to work every day.
Great. So plans for the future?
Plans for the future is definitely expanding the European, North American market, as well as across Asia, and really ramping up production and introductions to the markets this year.
Love this. Well, I've got to say, we've been bringing clients through here. This has been a big hit across the show. The final question would be, when do we get them domestically?
Starting right after CES, we're rolling out some pilot programs and things with partners. So for people interested, Q1, Q2, 2026, let's get it going.
Another task off our list thanks to robotics. It's going to be an exciting 2026.
Thank you.
Thanks for making the time.
So now is the perfect time for the partnership between Havas and Naqi. I mean, honestly, because I think as we enter this era of AI and the ease of accessing data and the ease and the need for doing that with speed and clarity, it's a perfect time for us to partner with Naqi and really take converged AI to the next level to ensure that we are not just making tools for practitioners, but also making tools that are accessible and democratized for the entire agency and for all of our clients. I think promoting all of the work that we're doing and making all of that work better. I don't know, what do you think?
On the technology side, we're finally getting to a point where you can really productionize these AI workflows at global scale across really large enterprises and actually get real value for the biggest clients that you have. So it's like a really interesting convergence of the overall ecosystem to get to a point where you can actually start to really get gains in terms of efficiency and then also value delivery when you start to leverage the AI capabilities and workflows.
The thing that we know about Converged is that it was truly built from the ground up for practitioners, for the agency, based on our needs. And I think now with the partnership with Naqi and what we, really how we democratize that access, it's about getting more people, about getting different skill sets and different capabilities and different types of people within the agency, within the organization, within our clients, really thinking differently about accessing, utilizing, and acting on the data and the insights. And I think that's where Naqi really helps us. I think as we have been in this sort of agentic world over the last couple of years and really kind of with people now understanding how to ask questions, how to prompt, how to, how to interrogate and really be curious and it's easier to be curious when you can do it in a language that you inherently understand, that you can just ask a question and get an answer back in a language where you're comfortable. And I think that's really why, we're super excited and it's the right time. And that's how converged AI really gets enhanced with this technology.
I think two of the main things we like to focus on are transparency and observability and ease of use. And I think both of those are also pretty critical to user adoption because it's new technology and you need to learn how to interact with it. And so when you ask a question or you try and do a task, you need to understand what the approach that the AI or the language model is going to be taking to do that task. And then the overall user experience and workflow needs to fit what you're familiar with. It needs to be beautiful. It needs to be approachable. It can't be intimidating. And so there's a lot of work that goes on both sides of the fence in a partnership to make that accessible to all employees. And then of course, localizations, different industries and verticals that you address. So it's a complex problem, but if you do it right, I think you can make adoption quite easy for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what does convergence mean and who's doing it well? And I mean, we're doing it amazingly, of course. But no, I honestly, I do think we're doing a really good job. Converge is a platform, Converge is a way of working. It is also a mindset. It is a mentality. It is a way that we want to think about not just working internally, but it is also about how we work with partners, how we work with clients, how, we want to be functioning as a combined entity, a combined organization driving in the right direction. But I also think convergence, there's so much happening in sort of, CES over the years has changed so much. And the idea of bringing together, the sort of consumer technology industry and the advertising industry. And, I have some friends who are in finance and they were here last, it's bringing together different groups of people to all talk about the sort of similar topics, but from different angles. And I think it's really important for us to think about that. I was on a panel earlier this week with some folks who are doing AI education and in the education space and thinking about how all of these different angles come together, converge to form a holistic opinion about where we're going and how we approach technology. And I think also, ideas around ethics and bias and all of those things are just really important for us to bring together and have full conversations around I don't know. I think that's that's been my sort of fun takeaway from CES, but also I think as we talk about convergence, that's where it feels like everything's coming together and start to move in the right direction.
I'll follow on the same theme. I would say like technical openness and willingness to integrate with other platforms and capabilities is required. Any like walled garden solutions that limit your ability to use the best available tool to do the job the best way it can be done, those are going to be legacy systems quite quickly. So in a way, like all capabilities are converging at your fingertips inside of every platform, and the ability to harness those and take advantage of them, understanding the broader ecosystems and how they're coming together, I think is what's going to happen this year.
Yeah, it's our job to help make sense of it all.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Mateo Bendati, a product manager here at Havas, and welcome to the Neurverse. Over a year ago, Havas launched its Center of Excellence for Neurodiversity called Neurverse, and today we've brought it to life with agentic AI. Essentially what we did is we surveyed over 3 million people that represents the entire spectrum of neurodiversity and transformed the output of that survey into 5 distinct agents that you can actively interact with here live at CES. So you can click any of the 5 that run the entire spectrum and gamut. So from Diego, who has ADHD, to Amara, who has autism, you can talk to any of them and you can interact with them through preloaded questions or asking your own. And you can literally talk to them directly with our JBL headphones and listen to their answers. So let me just show you what it kind of looks like. And in a matter of seconds, whatever question you've asked, you'll get an answer to. So this is essentially the basis of how you can really interact with them, and then you can follow up and ask as many questions as you want. Really interact with them the way you would any other agent, any other person, to get their own perspective on your content, your branding, or any question you may have. And more than just interacting with one specific target, what we really wanted to do was to be able to create kind of a symposium of all of them at once. So what you can do is you can test your own marketing, your own assets, your own creative right here. So here we have a client's website, and then each of these individuals will give you their own feedback on this creative, as well as provide you with high-level insights, an executive summary with key takeaways and recommended actions that we can then send to any of our clients and anyone who wants it, to really be able to interact and take out all of these key learnings and all these key takeaways right home with them. Thank you so much for walking with me through the Neurverse.
So Zab, yesterday during a Vermeer happy hour, something that most clients pointed out they were most impressed about was the speed and the agility on the movie trailers that we created. So basically, we invited guests to come to our booth, take one selfie on an iPad, and then in a matter of 8 to 10 minutes at the very most, we would have Hollywood trailers using their faces. And they were transformed into Hollywood actors. And also, not only the movies, but we would have backstage pictures. We would print their movie posters. It was really, really mind-blowing for some of them. So I think the main question is, how do you see AI enlarging creativity? And what is AI unlocking in terms of creative and craft for brands right now?
Yeah, thank you. AI is it's magical. I mean, it's a blessing for us creative and production people, because it's allowing us basically to do stuff that we couldn't think possible before. And what we wanted to demonstrate as well here is that actually AI and creativity is not just only for social media or small production. It could be actually at a very high level. It could be for movie. It could be for the sphere maybe tomorrow. So this is what we wanted to demonstrate with this organization. I think the AI is allowing us basically to push even further the creativity, do stuff that was not possible before, but also do stuff in a manner and in efficiency that wasn't possible before.
We actually did a live experiment with someone random from the audience, and it was quite nice.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit, why did we in part create it from here? So what was the insight, and why did we find it needed, but also very relevant for our clients and our brands to rely on a platform like Vermeer?
Vermeer had several objectives. The first one is we want to basically make sure that everyone within the group, within Havas, could use all the tools of AI for creativity, but also for production. At the moment, there's so many tools on the market, it's difficult to know which one to use or which one not to use. So we wanted a place, basically, where everyone can use it, okay? The second thing is we wanted that place to be safe. So at least you don't ask yourself, can I use this or not use it? So that was the second option. And the last one is basically try to push people as much as possible to be empowered, thanks to AI, to do stuff they could not do before. So either by controlling the AI, which was more of the question that we don't play and have random, basically, image generated or video generated, so we control what we want. Or on the other side, you don't want to control. So you let basically the AI basically do artistic stuff, crazy stuff, and you can play basically with your creativity to produce anything you want. In the case of Vermeer with Yannick yesterday, we wanted to demonstrate we can control exactly a scene, a video, and we can insert anybody and personalize as much as we wanted.
That's great. And I think the magic thing about Vermeer is because it's built out of intelligence. So it will learn and it will grow based on the inputs from our clients and based on our inputs. We can train Vermeer to look, to speak like our main clients. We can teach how we should, what we should, and what we should not do. And Vermeer would just be a safe, relevant, crafted place for our designers all over the world to work for our brand.
Yeah.
That's exactly why we built it. But I think the most important part of Vermeer is not the platform itself, was not the picture on the iPad, but it's the talent and the studio AI that we have set it up above, and the fact that we have the right talent and the right people operating Vermeer.
Yeah.
A tool by itself, as Yannick said yesterday on the stage, doesn't create meaningful stories, is not creative enough, and will never be able to be a storyteller like a genius creative mind. So I think the most important part about Vermeer is not only a tool, it's a way of working, it's a workflow, and it has the best talents operating that. And I think you would agree, because it's your team.
Absolutely, yeah. It's empowering everyone, empowering talents, basically. So the more ideas we have, the better we are.
Exactly. And it's on us to help Vermeer, to train Vermeer to be better and better. And it's on our talents to do that.
Hi, we're here at AARP and I'm here with Sasha. Sasha, can you tell us what AARP is highlighting this year at CES?
Absolutely, yeah. So we are the AgeTech Collaborative from AARP. So we're essentially the innovation arm where we support a growing ecosystem of close to 700 companies that we support early stage startups that are focused on age tech. So everything we do is in support of our mission for making aging easier for older adults.
Incredible, let's go check them out.
So we are here with a company called Sensate, one of our portfolio companies with the AgeTech Collaborative. As we all get older, there are moments of stress that we experience throughout our lives, whether you're the sandwich caregiver caring for aging parents and your children, or potentially managing chronic illness throughout your life and with your loved ones. So I'd like to introduce Michelle from Sensate to tell us a little bit more.
So Michelle, tell us more about the product.
My pleasure. So we are facing a global stress epidemic, and we all need to pull together with some innovative and amazing ways to manage it. Sensate is a patented stress solution that is focused on nervous system regulation, but through sound. So we use low frequency infrasound resonance via the device on the chest, on the sternum, and also in the ears. So you are listening to soundscapes in your headphones and feeling the sound on your chest. This is unbelievably immersive and super, super relaxing, which is also really important that a lot of our stress management opportunities are actually pleasant.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's next.
So we're here with a company called iGuard Home, another AgeTech Collaborative portfolio startup. Being able to age in place and on one's own terms is what helps older adults remain happy and healthy as they get older. So we have a company that focuses on fire prevention in the home. So I'd like to introduce John Landers, who's the co-founder and CMO.
John, we would love to hear more about the product and what makes this product really different in the market.
What makes this product really different is it's the first product that is predict and prevent. So other products out there either stop the stove after the fire is started or suppress the fire, such as with foam or powders or things like that. But the fire's already started. So that does two things. It displaces somebody. It is just super scary for a senior. And that's what we wanted to do, is come up with a way where the cooking isn't interrupted, because we basically intercede before the fire can start by using predict and prevent. So when you turn the stove on, it activates and goes to auto protect. And as long as you're somewheres in the kitchen area, you don't have to stand right in front of the stove, but you want to be somewheres in the kitchen. So you can go to the island and prep. You can go over the refrigerator and pull something out of the pantry. But if you leave the actual kitchen area, it triggers a countdown and it'll shut off the stove after 5 minutes, which UL says is the standard for preventing a kitchen fire before it can start. Thanks to AARP, when we came onto the collaborative, they let us do surveys with their membership base to find out what could make the product even more attractive to them. And they all came back and said, we want something more sleek and unique. So with that, I went to the engineering team that we have and said, I want something that's half the size of an iPhone. If you cut the iPhone in half, that's what I want. So that's what we were able to do. But we also, instead of motion detectors like that, we've moved to Doppler radar millimeter sensing, which is the new technology that you see from a number of the products here. And we added Z-Wave so that it can work in multifamily or commercial applications like nursing facilities or continuing care facilities. So it gives us a lot more bandwidth.
Thank you so much. Thank you both, really. Good morning. My name is Chloe Dupies. I'm a managing director at Havas, and I'm here live from CES with Lucas Escobar from Insulet, one of our great clients. Hi, Lucas.
Hey, Chloe. Thanks for having me.
So I'd like to start by just asking Lucas what has been his experience so far at CES and what has he enjoyed the most?
Well, this is our first year at CES. We are Insulet, the makers of Omnipod. It is a tubeless insulin pump for people living with diabetes who require insulin. It's our first time here, and it really feels like the place to be. We are the first insulin pump exhibiting at CES, and seeing people walk by our booth has been nothing short of amazing. One of my first conversations at CES this year was with a tech reporter who's been living with diabetes for over 40 years, and he is still taking multiple daily injections and was not familiar with insulin pumps, let alone with Omnipod, which is tubeless and automated. We had a very quick conversation, and it was a moment of, why am I not wearing this? And I think my life is going to change today. So even if it's that one conversation, I think our job would be done here, but it's just been that over and over and over for the last couple of days.
Well, that's so great to hear. And indeed, the traffic at this booth has been nothing but phenomenal, and the interest. Can I ask you as well, what was overall, beyond your product and your category, any other trends or anything that has really been exciting or interesting for you here at CES?
There is a lot to take in. I think every time we're exposed to this type of environment, there's tons of trends about health, longevity, and all the data that is coming in. My personal take is it's a little bit too much data, and I feel like it's time to really harness that data, make sense of it, and actually have companies that help take action with that. Obviously, with Omnipod, we've seen kind of like the rise of CGMs over the last years. I know our partners at Abbott and Dexcom have been at CES for now, I think a few years now, and people are very familiar with them. So it's nice to be able to talk about that here on Omnipod, because we're harnessing that CGM data and actually taking action and delivering the treatment using that data and our algorithms to really make life better and simpler for people living with diabetes. So really cool.
Great. So it's interesting because you touched on a broader trend that I have noticed here, which is the idea of, and you illustrated with the livable tech, it's no longer just about tracking data, it's about acting on it. And we're seeing the rise of agentic AI, that are those closed loop responses that not only track your data, but also act on it seamlessly and in the background to really have an impact on your life. And the second really big trend that we have seen is the rise of environmental health, of ambient health, Health is no longer within devices, but it's all around you. It's in your home, it's in your clothing, it's in your routines, and it's tracking and helping with your health without you even noticing. It's not invasive, it's continuous, and that's been a big trend that we've seen across the board in an floor tour this morning.
Yes.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you
No,
for being with us today.
Thank you, Chloe, for having us.
We've had a large-scale longitudinal study looking at consumer attitudes towards brands in market for nearly 20 years. That's been running across 30 markets and around 300,000 citizen consumers globally. 58% this year's survey said technology is creating new and exciting possibilities for us as a society. So that's a majority. They're excited about technology. 37% said technology is doing us more harm than good, agreed with that statement. Now, those are changing year on year. Broadly, people do value tech and AI specifically to make their lives easier. So 44% tech advances, AI makes my life more efficient, agreed with that, that's up year on year. And there's growing saliency from consumers around AI. They understand AI, they see where it's showing up, and that's one of the reasons I talked about education. But there is concern on regulation and legislation, so I'll leave us with this. 68% citizen consumers, all of the respondents from this year's survey, I believe society should regulate the development of AI technologies to address ethical concerns. I've been blown away about how much applied stuff we're seeing from CES. So that balance is going to be really critical for consumers, for industries, and us in B2B as well, business to business services going forward. The way that we interface, the chat window is still very much there, even though LLMs are multimodal. Google are doing some really interesting thing about, building interfaces on the fly using these models. How do normal folks interact with these systems? What's after the chatbot? What's after the LLM? We're already seeing some stuff in that space in agentic. That for me is the next exciting frontier.
Hi, I'm Holly, and I'm here with Yara, our mid-market agency lead from Google, and we're really excited here to talk to you about our partnership and how we are driving growth forward for our mid-market clients.
Hi, I'm Yara. I'm so excited to be partnering with Havas. Our partnership together is a real force multiplier. And mid-market clients are so interesting. They have the ambitions of their larger competitors, but they don't always have the resources. But the partnership that we've had together is really able to level the playing fields and give them that leg up.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's really important. One of the things that you hit on is like the size and the scale of these clients. They often don't have the investments or the technology capabilities or the deep technical resources to really drive their business forward. And one of the things that we've been able to do through our technical partnership is to really build a foundation for them to grow on and really help to multiply their business and drive it forward in a more consistent fashion.
Yeah, what Holly's team at Havas brings is the strategic know-how, the deep expertise. We on the Google side bring the technological muscle and really supercharge a lot of what they're able to bring. And so with Google's AI, you're able to deliver on a unified cross-channel audience data, and you're able to have the precision to find the right person at the right time in the right place. And that together, that combination is able to take a simple media buy into a sophisticated data-driven solution.
One example of how we bring this forward was something that Yannick mentioned yesterday, is how we're fueling our business by the power of AI. He shared a couple examples yesterday, the Vermeer activation, production capabilities, bringing creative and content to market faster, and that's critical for these brands. Another is the Ava platform, which we're launching, which will give all the insights and activation to our teams through our Ava platform, which I know has been critical. You've been a critical part in helping us get there.
Yeah, we're so excited that Gemini powers Ava, and a lot of our own tools are powered by Ava. And so the connection, the speed to activation, the speed to getting insights, the speed to getting measurement really shrinks. And we're able to work faster, and have more powerful results together when you have your custom tech and loop out our own AI as well.
Right. And I think that that's critical to the mid-market clients who, what we know from all of our conversations with them, they are looking to move faster and drive their business forward faster.
We have our work cut out for us in 2026 and beyond. But I think with the counsel that you're able to provide, that strategy for clients, and the tech that we're able to provide to help you support that, it's a perfect partnership. And we're so excited to be working together and drive measurable outcomes for your finds.
Absolutely. And I really thank you for your partnership and thanks for working together on this. And hopefully we'll have more to talk about soon.
Hey everyone, I'm Teresa Seuss. I'm at the Convention Center and I'm here with Carlo from Flint Paper Batteries. Carlo, tell us what you're showcasing here at CES.
So we are a Singapore-based company and we're making sustainable paper batteries. Batteries that are made with cellulose materials, use no lithium, nickel or cobalt, and it's very safe to have in products like you use every day.
Interesting. Talk us through the difference of what makes this stand out versus a traditional battery.
So a traditional battery relies on very toxic materials that is very hard to source, and number two is very hard to get rid at the end of its life cycle. Our batteries, the materials we use is very safe. They're water-based, they're cellulose-based, and some of them are even made with food-grade materials. So it's such a big impact that we're bringing to the planet, using and introducing more safer and lighter materials to the batteries.
Amazing. And can we walk through some
Sure.
of these?
So we have developed our first product over here, like you see. It's actually a everyday battery, like the AAA, AA cells that you see in your products. Think about toys, think about your TV remotes. So people usually just like use these batteries and just throw them away. Well, we have developed a new battery with 40% lower carbon footprint. So that means these batteries have lighter impact on the planet. The second product that we have focused on is an ultra thin pouch. So if we can go over there, it's a very thin battery that can be used for several applications. And I have one over here which you can touch and hold and feel, and just see how thin the battery is. It's also flexible, so you can flex it.
So how is this powering?
Yeah.
Could talk about the relationship, how this powers.
So the materials we use inside these are all paper-based. Even the casing of this battery is paper-based. So think about like there are 4 components in a battery: anode, cathode, electrolyte, and separators. Each of these things use cellulose-based materials. That's why we're calling it paper batteries. And beyond that also, this can be used in consumer electronics like this. So this is a product that we made in collaboration with Apple and their third-party ecosystem partners. It's a passport folio. It's like an AirTag essentially.
Yeah.
And there's a luggage tag, which you can put and track using the Find My network. So these batteries are inside these products. And these products, since they do not have lithium or anything, are safe to fly in the airplanes. You don't need to care about regulations, compliance, and all that thing as much as lithium batteries needs.
Amazing.
So these batteries are also compostable. So you can see over here where the batteries can be degraded from the first week all the way to week 4.
Wow.
So it breaks down.
Yep.
Slowly. But what we're trying to really exhibit here is not that people should continue throwing batteries. What we're trying to exhibit is that the materials we use are safe, and they're also very easy and soft on the planet. So you can see here some of the examples of materials we use in our batteries. And these materials are all water-based, cellulose-based, and PFAS-free. This is a Flint material used in our batteries.
Wow.
And you can try to smell this. So you don't really smell much, right? Because it's water-based.
Yep.
So you just smell the Flint material, which smells like nothing, but it's water-based. But now let's try to smell the commercial material, which is used in batteries everywhere today.
That is very strong.
Yeah.
You could smell it's heavier than
Exactly.
the Flint material one.
Because just try to imagine the impact that this can have on the planet by having millions of batteries thrown out with materials like those and the impact it can have. So we're trying to introduce safer and lighter, more materials so that more batteries like us can be in more products and it can have lesser impact on the planet.
Absolutely. I mean, that's amazing work. Can you show us another one of your
Sure.
products?
This is just a piece of paper, nothing really special to it, but we have our material coated on top of this paper. Now, when you try to connect the two dots with these probes, you can see something happen. Would you like to do it?
Yep, of course. Wow.
So for it to turn something that's non-conductive, like a paper, to something that's conductive, we're using no PFAS materials. That's a very big deal, especially using water-based and cellulose materials.
Right.
So we are working on this for years already, and we're commercializing the products that I just shared with you because we want more people to be using safer, more sustainable batteries in their devices.
Amazing. I can't wait to see how Flint Paper Batteries progresses. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again for having me. At Roku, we just released our 2026 predictions for the year. We did predictions in 2025, and many of them came true, so we like to think we're really good at this. But my favorite prediction was that the ad-free viewer goes extinct. For so long, I think there's the misconception that streaming equaled SVOD, or subscription video on demand, and that it was really an ad-free environment. And that was the case for very long, but now, because of the rising cost of apps, and because apps need to give optionality to consumers in introducing ad-supported options and live sports entering streaming, it really will be impossible to avoid video advertising in 2026. Live sports continues to get more and more and more complicated. If you think about kind of your grandfather wanting to watch a baseball game, it's really hard. And so Roku, as a leading publisher, but also as the largest operating system in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, we want to cut through that complication by making it so much easier to find the sports you want to watch and find just the game you want to watch for your favorite team, whether that be helping you with app discovery on the home screen or making curated zones of sports or NFL zone or MLB zone, really to cut through that clutter, because now you need 4, 5, 6, 7 apps to watch some of your favorite sports. So we want to make that a bit easier for you. Roku just wants to make TV better. That's been our mission. It still is our mission. Half of TV is now streamed, and half of streaming happens on a Roku device. And so we know we need to provide that service to our consumers of making TV better. And that means cutting through that complication, making content discovery easier. We find that our users sometimes take 5, 10, 20 minutes to find the content or choose content. And so we need to make that easier, whether it be our zones or using AI to help with content recommendation that they want to see, because we know that about them. It's CES, it's January, we have to talk about AI and both the value it drives, but also the disruption it will bring. We see that CTV really is a bit of a safe haven from a lot of the AI generated content out there in the social platforms. We know AI will help make great content someday, but for now, we still rely on beautiful, professionally produced human content that is really kind of our bread and butter in connected television. And so that was another one of our predictions of CTV is really the safe haven from this AI boom that's really flooding the ecosystem with content that maybe not be premium or may not be accurate or real. Like, I always get tricked by AI content all the time. And so I can't imagine what the rest of the country is. And so we really think CTV provides like really a safe haven for our consumers and our marketers. AI is a very powerful tool, but it needs to be human-led. And so we believe in that. And so everything we do, whether it be using AI for our planning tools, using AI to help reconcile campaigns, or using AI for our consumer benefit to recommend content, yes, that is automated and optimized and made more efficient because of AI, but everything has to be very human-led, or we will lose touch with our consumers, or we will lose touch with our brands and marketers.
Hey everyone, I'm Teresa Seuss. We are at the Venetian Expo Center at CES, and I'm here with Sandeep from Naqi Logic. Sandeep, tell us about yourself and what you're showcasing here this year.
Firstly, thank you, Teresa, for having me here. And my name is Sandeep Arya. I'm the Chief Business Officer at Naqi Logic. Is responsible for the commercialization of the technology and the strategic partnership. And what really Naqi Logic is or the neural earbud is basically a product that is like any other earbud, but with biosensors. And these biosensors are capturing your biosignals, micro gestures such as subtle jaw clenches, head movement, or eye blinks, and then converting those into commands. So our AI engine takes these raw data or the signals and convert them into commands.
Wow, nice. And what sets this apart from other solutions?
Yeah,
that
so
are open world?
few things. So first of all, A, it lets you control multiple devices, right? And B, not only it does exactly what any other devices would do, it also gives the independence to the people in a very dignified way. So it's not something, if you think about the accessibility solutions, they are pretty much like you have a sip and puff straw or a head arrays and things like that. It takes away all of that stigma away, and it gives you the freedom that you are looking for. However, not just for the accessibility, for people like us, this becomes a third arm. It becomes a third arm in the sense that if your both hands are busy and you're doing something and your phone rings, what do? You can still pick up your phone, you can still answer it. And if you are out in the fields and you're not able to touch the devices because you're wearing gloves, you could still be interacting with your AR, VR with this without touching anything. So it basically differentiates in the sense that multiple device controls, non-invasive control completely, and it's in a very dignified way.
Wow. Where do you see the future for Naqi Logics?
The future is basically, as we will say, is evolving. It's going from the device control use case by use case, but the technology is built in such a way that it can be Naqi inside on any device which captures the signal. So that's where we are headed. And as the AI continue to evolve, we want to be the interface for the AI. How do you interact with the AI without saying, hey Google, hey Siri? How can you do it in a discreet way? And still have that conversation. Let's say after this interview, you may be very happy or maybe very unhappy. How can our device pick up your neural signals and have a conversation? Hey Teresa, what happened? What did Sandeep say? Why you're so upset? Right? So it can actually have that conversation with you.
Amazing. Can you walk us through how this product works?
Well, the product is very simple to work. It's like any other earbud. You put it in and it connects to any devices around you via Bluetooth. As long as there is a Bluetooth connectivity, you are there. And then the biosensors, which are in the silver color, they pick up your micro gestures and that get translated into the commands.
And I see you won Best of Innovation 2026. Can you tell us how this moment felt and how this achievement?
Well, first of all, we are very proud to be there alongside with a lot of other leading brands which are changing the world, and so we feel proud of that. And the key reason for the Best of Innovation that Naqi got is for its invisible user interface. As the name suggests, invisible, you can't see it, but you interact with it. And that is what really sets apart Naqi also, to switch between devices and within the devices, how you control them in a universal way.
Right. Incredible. Well, thank you so much, Sandeep.
Thank
really
you,
appreciate you
Sandeep.
taking the time to talk to us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
But I think the thing that's probably been the most interesting for me so far, I mean, if we haven't talked about AI, we haven't talked about anything. But off the back, really, of the talk Yannick gave in his keynote, where he juxtaposed the human element with the AI-driven element, that really prompted a lot of super fascinating conversations with clients, with partners, and a whole bunch of other folks here at the show. And I think the sort of unspoken, I guess, part of this is that human element and the challenge with that human element. So, you know, we are surrounded by insane technology here and insane advancements that have been made. But I think the thing that a lot of people are sort of forgetting is you can't just show up and say, hey, here's all this fantastic technology and expect everyone to change the way they do things and sort of embrace that new way of working. And I think that for me is a challenge that we all share. And I think it's a really good opportunity for clients, for agencies, for partners to work together to really figure out how do we enable this generation of people in the workplace, but also that generation that's coming in over the next several years to operate in a different way where we can really leverage this technology to the full, but also value us. You know, what is the new value for the humans when we have machines doing some of the work that, you know, gave us our value in the past? So that for me is a huge challenge, and I've been having some super interesting conversations, and it's a huge shared challenge that I think we can all really focus on. So we've got basically the entire year in front of us right now. It's super hard to understand how things are going to evolve, even in the next few weeks. we're seeing technologies leapfrog each other so incredibly quickly. And those leapfrogs cause entire companies to change their strategy because they need to be at the frontier, they need to be at the front of things. I fully expect to see that continue, and if anything, go faster this year. But I think it'll be interesting to see how that evolves over the course of 2026, because the volume, I mean, just here at CES, obviously where people are being brought together, but every day in my role, I'm getting this huge volume of contact from super interesting companies that are creating phenomenal, new applications built on these technologies. But I'm questioning how even a global market can sustain so many, different small organizations coming forward with all these different ideas. So I'm super interested to see which ones are going to be the ones we need to bet on, and they're the ones that are going to scale. They're going to be a Google in 5 years' time, and which are the ones that perhaps will go the way of some .coms over the next 12, maybe 18 months. So for me, I think we're going to see some falling out of some of these just huge volume of small startups in the marketplace. It might be more challenging for them to find funding to be able to continue to grow at the scale we've seen in the last 12 months, because it's been absolutely crazy.